Good day. Welcome back to Live Well with aromatherapist Jerby Go. So for this Sunday, we're going to be having Jen Haber of Habonera. And Jen is the founder of Habonera, a company passionate about creating alternative skin and hair care products while being kind to the environment. She's a maker and one of the pioneer teachers of eco-friendly and premium quality soaps, shampoo bars, and conditioner bars in the Philippines. She has been conducting classes since 2017 and has over 700 Habanera graduates, creating a vibrant global community of soap and hair care makers. She's also honored to have a mentoring hand on notable brands in the Philippines and abroad and finds fulfillment in empowering her students to go for their dreams. She loves spending quality time with Tristan, her husband and co-founder of Habanera, and their two kids, Camille and Anton. Everybody, please welcome Jen Haber.
Thank you. Hi. Hello. Good afternoon. Hi, Jerbs.
Welcome to the show. We haven't seen each other since nung nag-class ka with my sister.
Yeah. Well, that was when 2018.
Yeah, that was 2018, I think. I think 18.
How is she?
She's still the same. Ano pa rin siya? Teacher pa rin siya sa Ateneo.
Oh, okay. Good. Does she still make soaps?
Mas hindi na. Actually, over the pandemic, parang ako, yun nga, I think just this year, I tried my hand at it. Imagine, it took me years. So, kasi this is something I wanted to take up with you then. Kasi diba, I know that you have been making soaps and teaching about soap making since 2017. Grabe. I think si Lish is one of
5 years.
diba, one of your first batches.
Yeah. Face-to-face pa nun.
Oo nga. Pero I wanted to get to know you more. How did you end up in soap making? Like, what were you doing before?
Well, I'll start first. So that was 2016 when I started. So I always tell my students, it really is it started as a passion project by a mother. Kasi at that time, our kids were very young pa then. They were 5 and 2. And they had very, very sensitive skin, which they got from their dad. So it was very hard because I would remember yung trips namin to the pediaderma, and we would get some prescriptions for topical steroids. It would go on for a while. We had a few trips back and forth. And then, of course, the topical steroids would work for a time. But after a while, it would be gone na, and it's going to be back worse than before. So it wasn't really sustainable. So I decided I will, as a mother, siguro it's the maternal instinct that kicked in me. It's like, I don't think it's gonna be the family skin story that I want to have. So that time, I made sure that I studied how to make soaps. And from that first batch that I made, cold process soaps, I've seen dramatic improvements in our family, like my kids, my husband, and the whole family. So that's when I fell in love with soap making. I told myself we're not going back to commercial soaps anymore. So that's how it started. So I fell in love with it. I would make batches and batches every chance that I get. So, and then of course, I would give it to family, friends, and they loved it. Eventually, they would buy from me. But then I realized, I guess, more than the making and giving or selling, we realized the bigger advocacy in this. And that's really to empower others as well. Not just, buying and selling, but really empower them so that they too can make soaps on their own, take charge of their skincare, take charge of their family skincare. So that's how Habonera basic soap making started. So yeah, eventually, after a year, that's 2017 when I started. 2018, we also had another one. Kasi ang dami ng marunong, we opened another one, an advanced soap making naman, Habanera Intensive. And then eventually the pandemic came. We had to move naman online. So we opened the Habanera soap making classes via Zoom 2020. Up to now, actually, it's still going on. And that time, 2020, we opened another class as well. I also love making shampoo bars for the family and conditioner bars for the family. So, and people love it as well. So we decided, why not also open a class for them so that they too can also make it on their own. So fast forward to today, we have 600, 700 graduates, and we're very happy. We're very proud to have a hand in mentoring all these makers, not just in the Philippines. Thanks to the Zoom classes, we have students na from US, Australia, Canada, UAE, Malaysia. And we're very thankful that they're part of the Habonera Academy. So that's how we are now.
And then one of the things that I wanted to talk about is, I know that you're very much into mindfulness, and not all soap teachers are into that. So I really wanted to focus on that too. Parang, how did you get to that mindfulness practice? Kasi when I watch your videos, talagang alam mo na parang, oh my gosh, si Jen talagang magaling lang din si Tristan mag-focus ng things, no? Pero when I watch it takes two to tango, actually.
Yeah.
Parang, I feel that among all, marami namang makers, marami ding teachers. But why I really resonated with your videos is because it's so zen. And that is why the topic for this podcast is the zen of soap making. I wanted you to please share with our audience.
Thank you.
How did you end up with this mindfulness practice?
In terms of mindfulness, yeah, siguro parang kasi as a maker, what happened, para kasing it became my me time. As a mom, kasi para it's so hard to really detach yourself from everything that's going on at home with the family. We also have a family business that I also help in tending. So parang adaming things are no. But when I'm in my soaping mode, when I'm in my own soaping world, it's just me. It's just my me time. And from then on, I realized that I love it. I love that I get to also have my own time to nourish myself, parang it's just nice to have your own time to take care of yourself. So that's how I probably that's my way of being at present, and just being grounded and take out all the things that normally just distracts you from what is here what is here and what's happening. So that's it.
Oo nga, I was wondering, when nag-start itong mga trips to the derma and then you made your first batch of soap, this was back in 2017, 16?
16.
Wow. And I understand you guys you were based in Australia ba?
My husband's he grew up in Australia, but he came here and got married here. And basically, he just moved here now when he met me, and we had a family na.
Oh,
but the kids, we try to visit every once in a while then, or they come here to visit. Just recently, everyone came to visit and had some well-deserved family time after pandemic. So, yeah.
Oh, nice naman. Kasi I thought na parang you had your mindfulness somewhere. Kasi mindfulness is not generally a thing in the Philippines yet, like that early, diba? In 27. Now, mas marami nang into mindful practice. Marami na rin nag-Zoom classes about it. But way back when, like in 2017, kasi salingkit ako dun sa class ni Jen. I was there waiting for my sister to finish. So I kind of saw how she did it. Parang, Jen, to everyone who's listening, Jen is like super motherly. Nararamdaman ko yung motherly vibes ni Jen.
Thank you.
And the way you teach, it's really very calm and zen. I cannot say I'm like that. I'm very hyper. Talagang parating mataas yung energy. And my students tell me that na talagang always upbeat. There are pros and cons. But si Jen is very zen. Talagang when I watched you teaching soap, talagang kahit na no matter what age, kasi ang ganda ng range ng students mo, may bata, merong mature, di ba? Merong seasoned na. So parang ang nice. You can come across all of those ages. I feel that if parang super mature, baka masyado na yung energy ko for them.
Depende pa rin.
So sometimes when I like have Zoom meetings with some of my mentors na syempre medyo matanda na, no? Parang sabi na, Jerby, today we're gonna be calm. Okay. Sabi nila kahit through the screen, nararamdaman nila yung
They can feel your energy.
diba, no? Masyadong upbeat. Anyway, so I was saying, Jen kasi is very, maganda yung ano niya, kasi she transcends through all ages. And I was just wondering, and I'm sure the audience is wondering din na, how did you start your Habonera classes? Parang, is it
Okay.
something na parang, naisip mo lang one day? How did it go? Because
You know,
in
it's such a
2017,
nice story. I normally haven't really told people about it because before, so yun nga parang people would love to buy soaps from me, ganun lang. And they love it so much. And then one time, my friend lang, I have a friend, she's uh, a teacher in IS, International School of Manila. So she would always ask me, Jen, can you teach me how to make soaps? Can you make a class? And ako, for me, parang, I don't know, no, that's not for me. That's not my cup of tea. I just like making soaps. I just like making and giving or selling. That's it. And she would always, talagang very, very persistent. And then one time she goes to me and said, you know, Jen, today is my, this October, I remember it's October 2016. So, October, 2017. Sabi niya, Jen, it's gonna be my birthday coming up. And all I want for my birthday is a soap class. I'm going to invite some of my friends.
Aww.
And I want it to just celebrate it with a soap class with you. How can I naman refuse that? I mean, she's a good friend. She's an amazing friend. Not only for me, but for the family. So, sabi ko, sige na nga. Okay, sige. So, just limit lang. Let's have how many? Sa niya, 6. Sabi niya, sige. Very, very manageable in size. So, 8 students from International School of Manila, different nationalities. There was an American, there was a French. At first, parang I got so intimidated kasi parang sabi ko, how can I teach them this as a first batch? But it went so well. I was so thankful. It went so well. They were so happy. And I was telling Tristan, if we passed it with flying colors, we can just go on and on with this. Because parang pumasok na kami sa butas ng karayom. So, that's how it started. So, yeah.
Trial by fire na yan.
Yeah, and you know what? The first class that I did, I really discovered this thing. I never thought that I was made for teaching. But you know what? After that, I really felt so much fulfilled, sharing my passion, sharing my skills. And yeah, it was just amazing. It was an amazing feeling. Na sabi ko, yeah, it's good to share. It's good to share your knowledge. It's good to share your passion with people, even help them. Ang daming mga things that, you know, sometimes they come to me and they say, thank you because of this. Natulungan mo ako with my mental health during the pandemic. I started making soaps. And thank you, for example, because I was able to come up with a new business. Thank you because this became my bread and butter na since the time that I started. So a lot of people, a lot of stories that, you know, it's really nice when you hear them. And only with it started because, yeah, it was a decision na, yeah, let's just go for it. Let's just teach. Let's just share our knowledge. So I'm very thankful na I'm in that position na I can teach and I share my passion. I love what I'm doing. And it's nice that I get to infect others also with the joy of soap making. So yeah.
Oo nga, as teachers, no, parang we see our success through the success of our students. So every time they come back to us and tell us na, oh, salamat dahil ganito. It really
Ah,
fulfills us, di ba? Ang
true.
galing. Actually, one of the biggest chunks din dahil talagang sobrang supportive si Tristan.
Ah,
Di ba?
yeah, yeah. Oo.
I've
You know what?
never, Oo, di ba? I've never seen anyone, any husband or partner na talagang shooting everything from all angles at ang technical expertise. Malaking bagay talaga yan.
Yeah, so blessed talaga to have a husband. Not only as a husband na who is amazing as a father as well to our kids. Parang it's the one thing that other people can see. They just see the Habonera partnership, but it's a it's a ano tawag nun, all-encompassing. Buo siyang it's
Well-rounded
like
talaga.
amazing. And yeah, I think that's the word, well-rounded. And sabi ko nga para ang galing, kasi he studied in Australia. He studied audio engineering. And who would have thought na, di ba, audio engineering, that's how many years ago. And yun pala yung parang gift niya na the pandemic, parang lahat were all parang just lost on how to do it. And to him, it's just normal. It's like fish to water na nag-arrange siya ng ganon. So, it was really a blessing na talagang. That's why I said ko, I'm just the half of Habonera, but the other half that you don't see, it's him. The website, the audio, all these hardware that you see, it's him. So yeah, thank you. I'm so happy and blessed to have him, to have Tristan. Naka lang siya ngayon naka video off.
Oo. But we know that he's there. But
Yeah.
I was also wondering, Jen, how did the pandemic affect Habanera?
Well, at first, you know what, I remember that there was the last March, if I remember, March 16 was the date that
Nung lockdown.
they lockdown.
Yes.
March 14 or 50, 2 days, basta that Saturday before that, I had pa a class, Habonera intensive class. That was the last class. And you could tell that we were all parang kind of worried what's gonna happen. Parang I had a doctor pa na a student that time, and they were saying doctors have been doing this code thing that means na parang it's getting really high, the cases. And when the lockdown came, parang we're all lost. So for a time, parang what's gonna happen na? So we were planning pa class after that. So we had to message them na say apologizing and saying na we cannot push through with the class, but if you want, you can have it refunded. You know what? They were saying no need to refund. I'll just wait. If you have an online class, just gonna attend. So that's how they were so amazing. So yun nga, eventually after a while, parang di ba everyone naman was just stuck, and then nothing was working, nothing was happening. We're just kind of busy surviving and not have COVID. Pero pagkatapos na, parang we said, you know what? Let's just see what we can do. We cannot just simply be paralyzed because of this pandemic. So, sige, if we're going to do this online, how do we do it? So, we started planning. We started, yun siguro, it's a good, it's a blessing na rin we didn't have, parang we have lots of time. Suddenly, parang you have all the time in the world. So, we sat down, we planned the logistics and everything. Even then, you would be amazed. I always said, when the first setup of Zoom done, and my family in Australia was very, very supportive. The first Zoom that we had was in Australia with our Sydney friends and family. So they were so supportive. Yeah, sabi niya, sige, kami yung batch. They paid for it. And then, sige, I won't be able to give you the kits, but I'll still give you the list of the things that you need there. So, batch one of face-to-face was friends. And then batch one also of Zoom naman was still family and friends. So
Friend.
I'm very blessed talaga that I have so many people who are just, cheering us on, supporting us. So from then on, batch 2, batch 3, right now, we are online batch 26. Six, I think mga
Wow.
26. And then just yesterday, just this weekend, we had shampoo bar batch 22.
Oh
So
my
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
Kami nag-stop na nga kami mag-teach ng shampoo bar. Also soap, I think. Kasi si Lish, busy na. Lish is, I think, busy teaching her accounting, whatever, in her school. Sobrang
It's really,
busy niya.
it really takes up a lot of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
And I
does.
know, with you noon, parang every week kaya yata may class.
Yeah. There
Diba?
was a
In
time.
person. Yeah, in
It was,
person.
that's why sabi ko nga, if you don't have that passion, if you don't have really that deep passion enough to sustain like every week or every I don't think pwedeng mangyari, but you cannot really sustain it that well.
Tama.
Para ang mahirap talaga. It's a commitment eh. But sometimes, sometimes we would say, pahinga kaya muna tayo kahit 1 month lang. And then people would ask, when's the next class? I hope I can attend the next class. And as far as I go, how can you refuse that na So ko, sige. So, yeah, parang as long as probably people would still ask for it or, just really want to learn how to make soaps or shampoo bars, yeah, why not? It's really something that actually I really like sharing it. Because not because of, just empowering them, but as I always tell my students, it's really our responsibility to be good stewards of this earth. Every eventually we would leave this earth, and who's gonna be left? Our kids, the next generation. And what better gift to leave them with than clean air, clean ocean, walang basura, clean water. So,
Or a clean
and you
place to
cannot
live
be
in. Diba?
yeah, sa akin, yun na lang yung that's hopefully, parang, if there's one thing that I can leave them with, hopefully that one, na mas maayos, mas malinis na mundo, because we tried our best to do it, to teach others to do it as well. So, yeah. Lahat nga na sinasabihan ko, kunyari ako lang, syempre di mahirap gawin. But, when you are all in this together, not just So, I guess that's one thing that also sustains me. That's my big why. Parang thinking na, at the back of my mind, I'm not just doing this for, this moment, but really, I'm working on hopefully helping the environment. And whenever I see, the Philippines is how many islands? We have so many, 7,100 islands. And we're so blessed with so many waters and all. So sayang kung mauubos lang because madumi, madaming plastic, madaming So, yeah, so that's how we try. We get our energy from, we get our inspiration from.
That's true. Here's another question. What is your thought about you as a teacher and the maker as well? What is your thought about, like, people have thrown this question at me as well. Aren't you afraid of creating your own competitors?
Alam mo,
Diba?
nakakatawa yan. I always get that. I believe in abundance. We have parang everyone has enough for the world has enough for everybody. And I don't want to be monopolizing as well. I mean, di ba? Parang, and it's nice to share. So, we have all our talents. We have all our different strengths. And if I'm just here to share. And it doesn't mean na para I'm creating competitors, but I see it as I'm creating friends. I'm creating a community. I'm creating something that's bigger than me. And that's really parang the goal. The goal is for each and every one to be more aware of what we put on our skin, that we have an alternative skincare, and we can take better care of our family through it, show our love through it, take better care of the planet through it. So, ang dami. If I can, para malalak lang ako dun sa idea na, no, I'm not gonna teach because sayang baka yung opportunities, business opportunities I'm opening. Well, you know what? I am just very blessed to bless others too. And if I see them thriving on what they're doing right now, you know what? It just makes me sleep even better. Na ang sarap ng pakiramdam na nakatulong ka. Ang sarap ng pakiramdam na nakatulong ka sa livelihood ng isang tao, or you know what? I have so many students up to now that I'm raving. I mean, sometimes I share their soaps because I'm so proud to be honored to be their teacher kasi ang kagaling nila. So, yeah, I don't mind. Not at all. I don't think, parang, yun nga, nakakatawa lang. But I get that a lot as well.
Tama, kasi the world is big enough for everyone. Di ba? I like what you said. Kasi like, even for us aromatherapists, it's always a question na parang, oh, aren't you scared na this is better than... I always tell them na, even if we studied from the same school, let's say, and studied the same curriculum, let's say, there are different topics that would resonate with her versus with me. Diba? Like ako, I'm into animals, so I'm focusing on animal aromatherapy. Hindi naman siya ganun. Perhaps she has a, personal health concern na gusto niya mag-focus. So, it's always different. And that is where your personality would come in. Personality plus skill equals something beautiful. And it's unique. Uniquely to you.
That's you. That's individually yours. That no one can take away. Kahit na gayahin pa yan, that's something that you can just, it can never be taken away from you.
That is true. Ang galing. Ang saya. Ako kasi yun. Even my relatives ask me, oh, hindi ka ba takot kasi you're teaching? Hindi naman, sabi ko.
Diba? Parang iba. Ang sarap ng feeling na nakakatulong ka, and it's really different. Pag nakita mo yung tinuruan mo, is really, actually, I don't mind. Actually, I don't mind pag mas maganda pa yung design nila sa akin. Sabi ko, para imagine for me to be able to create a maker, to help be somebody to be a maker. Tapos ganun yung mga Sabi ko, I'm just so proud na
Ang galing. But you know what, Jen? It's evident naman na you are one of the top teachers in soap making here in the Philippines.
Thank you.
Iilan lang talaga yung... Because, for makers, syempre, yung mga students natin, I would say, umiikot-ikot lang naman. Pero ako pinaka-hindi, kasi iba naman yung niche ko. I'm more into aromatherapy. But, diba, I'm sure you've heard of this other maker, this other teacher. And, it's inevitable. But, yun nga, I really like you na kasi parang you are always so motherly and supportive towards the community. Diba? The community of makers, the community of creators, and yung mindfulness practice talaga.
I have high respect for all the makers and especially the teachers. It's really tough to teach something like this. And if you guys are teaching this, Psycho, hats off to you because it's really, it's really hard. And ako parang, I have really high regard and high respect for all of them.
Oh, mas lalo na ikaw, 700 plus students. Grabe. That's really something. Parang feeling ko kung nagpag-get together, Christmas get together ka. Grabe, ang saya nun.
Yeah, you know what? That's my dream. Sabi ko, sana magkaroon tayo ng parang Habonera convention. No? All the graduates from way back, from face-to-face to Zoom, let's just have one class. All of us, we're gonna make. Imagine what?
Intense yun.
Amazing. Oo nga eh.
Okay.
That will be the day.
Oo nga, that would be really wonderful. And please, don't forget your invite. Baka pwede akong makitingin
dyan. Of course. Don't worry. Lahat pa ng class list ko from batch 1 up to now, intact pa yan.
Oh yeah, lang ako. Salingkit lang ako. Hindi pa ako yung original na enrollee.
Okay lang yun.
Thank you. Okay, next question. I know for most people who are, kunyari, inkling of trying out soap making. Soap making is intimidating. Let's be honest. Diba? I'm not sure how it went with you. Baka mas matapang mo na natutunan mo siya. Pero for a lot of students that I know, parang sabi nila, and even aromatherapist, no, parang hindi maraming aromatherapist gusto ko agad mag soap making, cold process soap making because lye is such an intimidating thing. Is there any advice that you can share with our audience, how they can break through this intimidation or this barrier?
Ako first is, this is my line every class. That lye is caustic. It can burn your skin, it can burn your whatever, it can damage your workstation. So just respect its property. So meaning, you by respect, it means you wear your proper gear all the time. Ako, I cringe whenever I see some na parang hindi sila naka-gloves or hindi sila naka-mask or hindi sila naka-goggles. Kasi, like, you know what, you have just, it's a little inconvenience, I know, but it goes a long way. You just have one set of eyes, one, you know, your face, your hand. You don't want to be playing with danger just because ayaw mo lang mag-mask or as long as you respect its properties, you will be mindful. That's when mindfulness, I guess, also comes in. That you cannot be too overconfident. It's soap making is fun, but there are also things that you have to always be mindful of. That lye is caustic, that it can be a source or cause of accidents. And that puts me also, and others, that's why I tell them, that puts also everyone into the proper mindset na be mindful whenever you're handling it. And that's, sabi ko nga sa kanila, when you're mindful, because of lye and all the measurements actually, you know how important measurements are in soap making. And doing that, talagang kailangan mo mag-focus, kailangan mo talagang to take away all the unnecessary distractions that you might be having in your mind. So every time you do soap making, it forces you to be in that present moment, just forget everything that's been bugging you and just be there. Properly handle lye, properly measure it, properly mix it. And then, yeah, it helps you. It helps you not to overcome your fear because you know that you're handling something that's not supposed to be feared, but really, yun nga, para respected lang yung properties niya.
Ang galing naman. Kasi ako, it took me 4 years to overcome it. This year lang ako nag-try to make my own cold process soap making. And making soaps is very different from making shampoo bars. With shampoo bars, as what my students would say, no, yung shampoo bar is like cooking. Pwede kang mag plus or minus carry lang. Pero pag sa soap, plus or minus can ruin your soap. Pag hindi, di ba? Pag hindi precise yung oil mo, may chance na hindi siyang bumuo, mag-pull ng oil.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
It's really it's I love the science behind it, yung math also behind it, but more than the science and the math, talagang you have to really be focused kasi imagine mo you're measuring, you're pouring, and then bigla may distraction na wala ka na. How can you parang ang hirap na ibalik. So especially during the pouring, the measuring and all, talagang hindi ako pwede. I cannot be bothered. So that's my me time. So perfect talaga. So I love it because no one can really parang just go and say, Mom, ganto, ganto, ganto. For a few moments, for a few hours, it's just me and what I love doing. It's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. So yeah. So, tapos, diba, imagine mo, parang something that, kasi maybe that's part of the mindful making, that whenever I make soaps, I start with an intention. All my soaps, parang I would always make sure that, why am I making? It's always about why. Why am I making this? So, okay, so I'm making this. Is this out of, for example, is it an intention of healing? To give joy? Is it an expression of art or creation? Is it something that I just want to, an interpretation, for example, of a scent or something, different kinds of intentions. But after that, doon na. And then I go to a design. So para may design na and all. So parang ang dami siya. And then even the formulation, I try to tweak it. I have a base recipe for really my staples. But because sometimes of some interpretation or expression, I also love also parang tweaking and reformulate and creating a new formula using some herb or botanical or powder or whatever. So it's always different. And I love it. I love that I get to express my creativity, my feelings, my thoughts, and then eventually have something very tangible that I can hold in my hands and cut it and smell it and look at it. Parang it's different. That's one thing I love about soap making. It makes thoughts and feelings tangible. You can actually see it and feel it, especially, and you know that feeling now when something that's in your mind and finally you have it and you see it and it's perfect, exactly how you want it executed, and it's right there in front of you. That's amazing. So I'm happy. That's the joy of soap making. Parang ang dami opportunities to be excited about.
Oo nga, ramdam ko na yung excitement mo ngayon. For your two kids, meron ba sa kanilang nagmana nung hilig na ito?
Actually, they both love it. I'm still scared for them to do parang the lie with me or ano. But I let them cut soaps. Both of them would check out my soaps and smell, Mom, this is amazing. I like this. I'm gonna use this in my next shower. So, ganun sila. Para silang mga cute quality control officers. So, ganun. I like this, Mom. Maybe you can make it. Or sometimes they would say, I don't know, Mom. I think it smells for a boy. So, at least alam ko na pang male talaga yung ginamit ko or something. So, ang galing. They can really, I love their thoughts, their feedback whenever I ask them about how is it? How does this feel? Or does it look nice? So, they're very, very expressive as well in terms of how to communicate kung anong feedback nila.
Ang galing. Tsaka they're very involved. Di ba? Ang saya.
Because nga nakikita nila eh. So, they know na pag class, they have to be quiet. Especially during Zoom. So, they know pag class, they can't be too noisy. So, they try to, as much as possible, pag kahit maglalaro sila, quietly lang. I'm blessed that as early as their ages, nakikita nila, nafe-feel ko yung support nila.
Oo nga, ang babait nga. Kasi while we were having the in-person class, nandyan lang din sila. Tapos they're not even going, ang galing, very nice. Wow, that's so amazing. Okay, so I was also thinking, what's next for Habonera? Diba? Now that you have soap making, advanced soap making, and then hair care, what's next naman? Pero before that pala, before Habonera, what was your life then? What were you doing before Habonera?
Okay, so 2016, I was a young mom. So we got married 2010 and then had a kid 2011. So basically, I was really it was really quite tough. I was middle-aged mom na ako. I started there. I had 2 kids in my 30s na, late 30s. So, this was quite, parang a challenge for me. Especially, parang I got used to single life and suddenly I have 2 kids to take care of, 2 young kids. And it was physically challenging. So, I guess the years before that, it was really more on recovery and adjustment to the new family, to the new setup, being a wife, being a mom of 2. And then, I guess during 2016, that's when I got my bearings back again. I started taking better care of myself. I remember I had when I decided to learn how to make soaps. That was my gift to myself when I turned 40.
Oh, wow.
So parang yan. So parang it was a gift that parang I decided, you know what? This year, I'm just gonna spend more time taking care of myself so I can take better care of my family more. So there, so ganon.
Galing. So that's the past. How about the future? What's next for Habanero naman?
Well, you know what? Like I normally we don't really plan. We plan. I'll tell you, we plan like every year. We have a yearly planning, and every so often, like a quarter or mid year, we do a review of what and we really don't. I don't know if we have made really big plans, like big plans, but we just take it as it comes. Parang, you know what? We feel that this we're so blessed. We start with what have we been blessed with, what are we thankful for, and what are we looking forward to. And that's where we normally parang just go from. So yun yung parang starting point namin. If you're going to ask me now what's it, no, well, definitely we in the very near future, we plan to also bring the face-to-face classes back because it's thank you that the pandemic's hopefully ending soon and everyone's almost vaccinated and boosted up, so the scare is quite has gone down, so hopefully we can go back to physical classes. So that's one thing that we can be excited about and look forward in Habonera. In terms of others, I don't know, but we'll just take it one day at a time. But definitely, we will keep you updated.
Posted, oh.
We always naman ako parang me, our IG, special our Facebook and our IG, para it's my way of, para sharing our journey with you. It's not just really marketing and all, but really it's sharing my journey. So anything that will be our plans in the future, big plans, small plans, that will be there. So, but we're very excited. We take each day as it comes, but things are really looking bright, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with something that it's a pain point. It's always some pain points that we're trying to address. So something that maybe others can also let us know if there's anything that they want to know or they want to have, or we're just here.
Oh nga. So for the listeners who are tuned in, no, if you're wondering kung how you can improve yourself or take another skill, don't forget to check out Habonera. And maganda talaga iba talaga yung experience pag in-person classes, di ba?
Yeah, iba. I love it. You know what, Psycho? I'm so excited na to come have it back na kasi it's different. Medyo nasanay na ako na talking to the camera, right now. But for a time, Psycho, it's so different na I'm talking here, tapos nakikita ko lang sila, tapos I'm watching through my screen how to do it. But that's the sound of, for example, 10 stick blenders doing it all at the same time. To me, before, it was like an orchestra to me because it's different. I mean, it really can hype you up. Pero we'll see. Hopefully, we can have it back soon.
And the smell. Kasi like ako, for aromatherapy classes, ibang-iba talaga pag nasa screen. And yung in-person na, you can sniff each other's blends and oils. Especially for you, diba? For the students na parang, nag-transcend pa yung amoy.
True, we have parang a buffet of scents there that they can choose from. So it's nice to really have a sniff of different scents and choose yourself.
Oo nga. Okay, another question. Kasi if tama, you mentioned your buffet. I remember ang gaganda ng mga nasa buffet. And I know you have a lot of unique ingredients kasi I remember nga you source from Australia. So among all the ingredients that you've tried, and all the soaps that you've made, name one soap na pinaka favorite mo at bakit? Dahil ano ba yung ingredient nandun? Why did you choose that?
Ako, ang dami kasi. But if there's one thing, maybe yung ginagamit ng mga kids. Because for me, parang it's parang a mother's love shown through soap. So normally for my kids, I use chamomile and calendula oil infusion, and that's what I use as a base, olive oil, and then I also have some baraka shea butter, and then cocoa butter. So things that are really nice for the skin, and it helps me always parang go back to where I started and why I'm making it. So which is really for the family and people. You know what's like, kung nga parang I made it for the kids, but I never thought that even adults would be finding so much joy and comfort sa ganung very simple. Kasi sa akin yun yung parang I normally gear towards more simple lang na but I try to kasi gusto ko plain, pero ang na-highlight yung mga ingredients that's there. So yun, so that's one. Normally I like it plain lang. So if you see those plain parang off-white soaps, it's so plain, but you just don't know how premium the ingredients and how much time it took for those infusions to be able to create those bars.
Oo nga. At saka ito nga sabi ko sa inyo, napaka-motherly talaga ni Jen. Kahit dun sa Miss Universe question niya, napaka-motherly pa rin ang sagot. Ang tama. Alam mo, yun yung sinasabi ko na even if you have the same skill, diba? Even, sige, sabihin natin, same kayo ng level of expertise in soap making, talagang the personality will show.
Yeah.
Diba? The personality talaga. Like with you. Kahit balik-balik na rin natin yung mundo, talagang yung aura mo, your care, motherly care and mindfulness, it's there. It's really evident with your soaps.
Thank you.
Have you ever tried using Pili pulp oil or like yung mga like things that are abundant in the Philippines?
I love it. Actually, I had a student. She has a farm in Bicol.
Oh.
That's where I source my pili because she has really high grade. Before at yun ang nahirapan ako actually. That's a challenge for me because hindi ako makahanap sometimes ng local na quality na gusto ko. But when I found, I used to try before Pili Oil because I knew someone who goes to Bicol and also I tried it. But I wasn't really that happy. Pero sabi niya, you know what, I'm gonna let you try my Pili Oil. I have a farm and we really have nice pili. So sabi ko, sige, I'll try it. And amazing. That's when I go, okay, I'm blown away with how amazing all this kind of oil that's locally sourced. So yeah, I use Pili Oil as well. Ang hirap lang ngayon kasi I remember there was one storm na nasira yung Bicol. They always talagang siya sa storm eh. Pero I'm hoping that they can supply once again I even share it with the Habonera students as well para bumili ako ng marami so other people can share. So sige para but very limited lang kaya up to now parang kung meron good. If not, that's okay.
Oh, let me share with you one of the first soaps that I made from Pili pulp oil.
Oh, nice.
Aso pa rin. Animal pa rin.
Animal pa rin. Very nice. It's parang similar to olive oil na very ganda. And very, actually mas thick nga siya sa olive oil eh. And you can smell yung
nuttiness.
Smoky, flavor.
Saya. Galing. Ayan. So, okay. I was wondering kung is there any specific ingredient. Kaya lang napaka-motherly yung sagot mo. Chamomile. Okay.
Ako, simple lang kasi ako. Actually, even my herbs, I tried I'm very curious. So, I tried different herbs. I try different herbs. So, but when you ask me what's my favorite, what's my personal favorite, it always we're a very simple family. Parang napakasimple namin. So, sometimes it's hard for me. People would ask me, can you do this kind of soap, this kind of swirl, this kind of technique? No, kaya ko naman. So, I would do it. But after that, napagod ako, I would go back to making something plain again. Para just to bring down the hype, diba? The energy. So,
Oo nga. Ito, one final question. What is the most difficult soap request that you've ever had?
Actually, soap request that I've had, maybe it's it's not the design, but for example, it's the quantity and the time na kailangan kong gawin. It's the lead
Oh.
time. Kasi para ang hirap na, we have a family business na I'm also tending. I have Habonera, I have the family. So normally, I plan everything. Like everything is just parang in a week, ito yung mangyayari. So when people ask me, can you do this in this, parang I need this kind of, how many soaps in the next coming week? Kaya naman, pero yun lang, ay parang talagang wala na akong gagawin masyado kundi yun lang. In terms of soap requests,
Like with design or ingredient. Like a hard to source ingredient. May ganun ba ever?
ako kasi pag hindi ko kaya, I don't even say na, I tell them honestly na, para lang expectation management. So, this is the soap that I want. So, sabi ko, I have, but you have to be also informed that these are handmade, okay? I cannot make exactly that same, I don't even know. If you want, you can send me a sample of the soap. So, at least, alam ko yung color, alam ko yung itsura. Kasi iba yung photos eh. But sometimes, normally naman, my clients would say, you know what? Just do whatever you like, however you want to interpret that. Or Easter, you want some Easter soaps, ito yung mga So, ganun lang. Parang mas madali. Mas madali pag if they give me the liberty, the artistic liberty. But if they also tell me something, I have to be also straightforward to them that pag hindi ko talaga kaya, I'll tell them straight away, sorry, hindi ko kaya yan. Or pag mahirap yung sourcing, so I'll let me give me a few days, see if I can source it. But if not, I'll also get back to you and see if wala na. If not, I'll give you an alternative. But yun nga, parang if you don't like it, that's okay too, because I don't want naman to, parang force myself into something na iba yung expectations namin.
Oo nga, tsaka parang it is where you're trying to stay true to your passion and to your talaga, di ba? And I remember nga, parang nung nagkwento ko ngayon na, all your soaps are more on the plain side. Ako nga, I remember, kasi before, in your early batches, parang you only stuck with natural colorings, like clays, yung mga ganun. Parang recently lang to na may nakikita akong mica. May mga, mica ba gamit mo? Pero yung bolder
Mica,
colors. Yung
ultramarine.
bolder colors. Oo.
Actually, kasi parang feeling ko, parang I have gone to this point in my soaping na I'm just out there trying different stuff. I'm not really I cannot contain myself or identify myself as something here lang. To me, soap making is talaga a whole wide spectrum of things, of fragrances, of oils, of butters. And it's just sad if you don't try it out, di ba? Parang sayang naman.
Explore. Diba?
Oo, explore. Talaga, it's so fun eh. Why don't you just enjoy it as it is, as a maker? I think it's the maker in me na parang, okay, I'm done. I'm happy with clays. I'm happy with natural colorants. But at this point, I just want to try out something new. And it's nice. It's nice because it gives you a new perspective and also you know what? It's really, parang it's different when you're using micas, when you're using clay. So I have different high regard for both who are using natural colorants and also those who are into micas and really thrive and really have amazing artistic designs on that. So pareho.
Ang hirap kaya ng mica, sometimes nag-accelerate. Agad. Apart from the fragrance na iisipin mo, di ba? Pag-add mo ng mic, oh my God, tigas na niya. Parang one time, I wanted to create this kasi one of yung naging students ni Lish, galing na rin. She's an attorney by profession and then took up soap making para to distress. Pero ang gagaling na ng mga skills niya sa design. She was doing this parang swirl. Pero yung parang basta hindi ko explain, pero maraming color at a time na swirl. So sabi ko, I wanna do that too. this is like my second or third batch of soap pa lang, di ba? Maambisyosa talaga, no? After nung dog, sabi ko, feeling ko kaya ko nag-multiple color. So, I tried. Pag pour ko, oh my God, nag-excel na mo siya. Goodbye. Goodbye to my swirls. Naging layer na lang siya. Ang sakit. So,
Pero you know what, ang dami kong ganun na parang in my mind, ito yung plano ko.
diba?
In the middle of it all, parang nag-iba. That's why it's very important. That's when I always tell it also to my students, especially sa advanced na always have a plan B. Para lang hindi ka din stuck sa isang design lang. Just in case lang hindi siya mag-work according to how you want it. You're not panicking, hindi ka nagra-rush, because you can have it something simpler. Pero yung pala, you know what, you'll be surprised. Ang dami kong gano'n na, ang ganda pa rin pala. Or kahit siya nag-accelerate or masyado siya bumilis man, I like it pa rin. So it has a different character, different from how you plan it, pero maganda pa rin.
Tama, ito, naging ganito siya. Ito yung nag-accelerate.
Tinaiwan
swirl ko na lang. Dapat siya. It's a nicer, different kind of swirl. Parang,
nice.
Ayun. So, yun lang. One of my boo-boos. But, we try to salvage our boo-boo. Nakita ko lang sa student.
Nakita ko yan. There was one, anong tawag na yun? Parang technique of the month that they say. So, it's one of those,
Tumigas doon sa lalagyan.
How is it to clean? Kasi ako parang iniisip ko pa rin, paano kaya lilinisin yan? Madali naman linisin.
That is where the aromatherapist comes in. Yeah. So, I just use straw brushes. Tapos, baking soda is super easy to clean anything about soap.
Okay.
That's
a good one.
Whenever I'm cleaning yung mga oily, kasi diba pag puro blend, puro oil lang I just use baking soda, warm water, tapos brush lang. Yun din sabi na soon, kung hirap lang linisin. Sabi ko, okay naman. So I taught her, ganito maglinis. Pero ang galing ng skill mo, napagana mo siya. Ako hindi ko napagana. Cleaning ang napagana ko. Ayun. So, okay. So I guess that's all for our episode. Is there anything that you would want to invite our audience with, Jen?
Okay, so right now, thank you so much, Jerby. We'd like to invite you to our next basic soap making online class. It's gonna be in June 25. So still by Zoom, so 1 to 5 p.m. Manila time. And we are looking forward to, we're now planning on the planning stage again and bringing back the face-to-face basic soap making class. And hopefully we'll see you there. So we're trying to come up now with all the logistics and all. So once it's all finalized and more firm na yung details, we'll also keep you guys posted in our IG and our Facebook.
All right. So I will link all Jen's social media on the post for this podcast. And thank you so much, Jen, for being our guest.
Thank you, Jerby. Say hi to Lish.
Oo nga. And say hello to Tristan.
Nandiyan lang siya. Katabi ko dito.
Ayan. So maraming salamat ulit and I hope to see you around. I really look forward to your get together for the makers.
Hopefully we'll meet na personally again.
All right. See you.
Bye.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
Okay, so I guess that's all for today. If you have any other ideas or questions or topics that you'd want me to cover in my future podcast episodes, don't forget to shoot me an email at couchwasabi@outlook.com or slip me a DM on my Instagram at jlian85. And I hope to see you on my next Live Well with Aromatherapist, Jerby Go.